Okay, so you've left the South and you all have moved north. And so where was the first city that you moved to in the north?
First thing how I got here, first moved from Columbus, Mississippi. My husband worked for the Continental Trailway bus
Well,
service.
tell me how you met your husband.
Oh dear. I need my son here to help me with that story I told him. But when I went to Columbus to go to school with my uncle, I just wanted to go to this particular school
Why did you want to go to this particular school?
because I had been traveling to Columbus prior to when I was 13. I was riding the buses alone to visit my parents and come back to my grandparents. I went to school in Alabama, and then when school was out, I would go there, and then I would come back for school in September. But uh, I left to go to school, staying with my uncle, and he loved me. He and his wife, they didn't have any children, so from my birth, he always claimed me his little niece, like I was his daughter. So I loved him. His name's, we call him Uncle D. So when I went there, I got there in starting of school, September. I was a little late getting there because they had started. It was September when I went, but I got enrolled. Then I went to church. I always went to church, so I met some friends throughout the time I had visited there. So we went to church, and this one afternoon they were having a program there. And my friend said, her name was Mildred, she said, "Come on, go to church with me." I said, "Okay." I met her years ago. So we goes on to church. It was afternoon. And we waited, and these quartets was going to be there. And my husband's, he sang in the quartet, but he wasn't on the program. So we waited. The program was at 4 o'clock. So we sat there till 5. Nobody came. So they announced, well, like the others are not here, so we're going to dismiss. So when we got up to go out, all these guys were standing outside. They were just waiting for service to start. And so first thing, he looked at me, he came over and started talking, where I was from and what my name was and everything. So that was it.
So it sounds like it was love at first sight.
But anyway, so they decided nobody wanted to go home. So down there today, in this society, they called the holiness church Cogage, Church of God in Christ. They called it Sanctified Church. They said, let's go to Sanctified Church. They start about 6 o'clock. So all the kids wanted to go. They all went over there. So I'm hoping he would go on someplace else, because I hadn't met no boys there. I'm only 16. So we goes in, the program was good, everything, and on our way out it had double doors. So everybody just went their separate ways. So I came out one door, he came out the other. And he met out there. He said, "Can I walk you home?" I just got there. And I said, I couldn't tell him it's not my home, it's my uncle's. I told him, I said, well, I live with my uncle and his wife. So I'm okay. Mildred and she lived next door. So he said, okay. He walked part of the way and then he went on home. So after that, we would see each other occasionally. So around November, then Christmas, we would see each other. But I didn't have no boyfriend. But anyway, for Christmas, he asked me to marry him. And I said, oh, marry you? I said, my daddy would have a baby with a bonnet on if I married you. So, however, that went by. But we didn't get married in December. I only known him a month, a little better. So, actually, we got married in May. But for Christmas, he bought me a gift. A blue satin robe with the slippers with the fur ball on it. And I'm saying, what am I going to do with this gift? The box was so big I couldn't hide it. So my uncle had a little stepdaughter there. So she said, put it under the bed. And my aunt will find it. I'm thinking about my dad. So I couldn't deal with that, so I know what I said, I'm going to take it to school and called him at the bus station and tell him to pick it up. So I did. He said, "Oh, I got the receipt. I can exchange it." I said, "No, it don't fit. I just rather have something else." So he bought me a ring and a necklace set. So that was okay. But we got married in May. So that's...
So where did you get married? Where?
I got married at this place called the Silver Diner. It was a train coach that this black couple had bought. They had a spot of land. They put it on there, and they painted it silver and refurbished it inside. And they had a little restaurant there, no alcohol, and kids could go there and adults just go and spend the evening. Had what they call a jukebox there. Put a nickel in your head. So we would go there on Sundays. But long story short, the lady that owned it, she became friend. She was a friend to my husband's mother. So when this marriage thing come up, she said, "Well, her parents is not here, so if they would marry here on the lawn, and everything would be here." So we had to agree to that, and that's how I got married.
So this was in Mississippi?
Mm-hmm. It's in Mississippi.
So